What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall here with Credit Suite, and today we are diving into angel investing, something that we never really talked about here on our live streams today. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be teaching you how to get angels to invest in your business. So we're going to walk through this whole process from who angel investors are, what they do, where to find angel investors, the difference between angel investors and venture capital, everything you need to know, even as a startup, to get angels to want to invest in your business. So today we're going to decode the entire process. So by the end of our stream today, you're going to know where to go to get angels. You're going to know everything you need to know to be able to pitch angels. You're going to need to know what they're looking for, how you need to plan your exit, how you need to plan your pitch. Everything you need to know about angel investing, we're going to dive into today. So that being said, I'm trying this new Facebook creator app. So hopefully we're good. We got cut off early last week, but we'll see how this goes. You guys should even have like a sticker, like a new sticker that like has our logo that you can use to like comment. So if you don't mind, go ahead into comments and tell me where you're from, just so I can get an idea of what state everybody's from. Edgar, welcome. AD, welcome. So go ahead, tell me where you're from so I know that the chat's working okay, that I can see everything. And also, I'd love to see where everybody's from, where you guys are coming from today. So go ahead, type in what city or state you're in. Texas, I love Texas, just so you know. Texas is my favorite state. I love Texas. I lived there for a couple years, so that's awesome. Indiana, Christine, I know that, and you know I'm from Indiana as well. So go ahead and type in where you're from as we get ready to get this thing kicked off. Okay, so Texas, we got multiple people from Texas. All right, guys, so angel investing decoded. We're going to decode this whole process today of angel investing. So angel investors basically are a great source to provide even startup and working capital. Now, whenever you see Florida, Edgar, you know we're in the same state, buddy. So we know that angels basically provide access to working capital. What working capital means is it means money you can use for any purpose. Okay, money you can use for the inner workings and for the regular day-to-day operations of the business. I'm going back to Texas, more money down south. That's very true, and I love Texas. I love everywhere in the South. So what's cool about angel investing is it works even for startups, okay? As a matter of fact, most angel investing is for startups versus venture capital that has to do with a little bit more of established businesses. Now, what you might not know is angel investing actually started with Broadway theater. It had to do with Broadway shows getting money to actually fund their shows, which was actually pretty interesting. So the original investors and angel investors were there to actually back plays, which is pretty cool. And guess what? They still do. It's called patrons of the arts, and they still do that even today. So who can be an angel investor? Well, it's not covered by the SEC. Okay, so that means that you don't have to have any accreditation to be able to be an angel investor, but there are something that's called accredited investors. So accredited investors are people that have $1 million in net worth, so their net worth is $1 million or higher, and they make $200,000 or more annually in income. So you don't have to find these accredited angels, but you should know that that's what an accredited angel is. And here's why you might not want to make your focus just on accredited angels. Yes, accredited angels have $1 million in net worth and they have $200,000 a year in annual revenue. So that means they have the money that you may be looking for to invest in the business. But here's the thing. Nowadays, as we're going to talk about, there's a lot of angel investing networks. And these are networks that actually will come in and they will pool together angel investors. And these angel investors pooled together will then come in and actually just have a little bit of money. So people's net worth isn't high. Maybe they give $5,000 to the network pulls together 50 and you get 50 from a bunch of smaller investors that aren't accredited, that don't have higher net worth. So don't get hung up on somebody being an accredited investor. You should know what it is, but a lot of non-accredited investors still donate smaller amounts of money to your actual company or to a network that then gets you access to that kind of money. 80 Jewel says, we'll be watching the playback. Today is my first business anniversary. Congratulations. That's awesome, man. I'm so happy. And you can watch the playback here on Facebook. Okay, so again, $1 million in annual or net worth, $200,000 a year in income has to do with being an accredited angel investor. So the most prolific angel, okay, Jeff Clavier invested up to $6 million in 20 different companies, and from Inc. magazine, which is pretty cool. Founder of seed and venture capital company Uncork Capital. So he does both angel and VC. Now, who else can be an angel investor? Well, a lot of these people are not millionaires, just so you guys know that, okay? They could be friends of yours. They could be colleagues. They could be people sitting on home equity. They could be local professionals looking to invest in your business. So first thing you want to do is consider people that you know first. Now, this is actually referred to as a term. It's called affiliated investors. So there are affiliated investors, people you know who may invest in the business, and there are unaffiliated investors, people you don't know. Now, unaffiliated obviously need more assurances because they've never worked with you. So keep in mind, when you're dealing with angel investing, a lot of people that are unaffiliated, they don't know you, they may even want you to have some affiliated investors involved, because if they're going to invest in your business and they know that you've already got family, friends, other people on board, then that alone could be an indication that it makes sense for them to invest. So think of it like this. They may have unaffiliated investors, people that don't know you, that say, hey, look, if you can't even get people that you know to invest in your business, why would we want to invest? Now, all angel investors are not like this. All angel investors won't require that you go out and get people you know, affiliated investors, to invest in your project first, but some will. Some angel investors that are unaffiliated, they have no prior relationship with you, won't lend money to you unless they know that people that do know you, people that are affiliated with you, have donated some money. So don't think that angel investing is all about just going and getting a bunch of other people that you don't know that are professional investors to invest in your business. A lot of them are rookies. A lot of them are looking to get greater returns on what they're actually doing. Okay, so keep that in mind, that people that you know in your inner circle could be the first place to look for angel investors, and by attracting those affiliated people that you have, that's what then turns around and gets you the unaffiliated, the people that you don't know, the people that are just strict investors. Kevin, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Okay, so keep that in mind. There are affiliated and there are unaffiliated investors, people you know versus people you don't know. So what do angels do? Well, these are basically informal investors in a company. So they're very big on giving money to startups, and they're giving you the money to start the business in exchange for equity, a percentage of equity in your business. And that percentage is typically going to be about 20-25%, sometimes more. Now, they can even invest via a crowdfunding platform. So there's a lot of different ways they can invest, but these are usually individual people that are looking to invest in businesses to have a greater rate of return in exchange for equity of ownership of the business. So if ever you're dealing with you need to know that angel investors are basically putting money in the business hoping to get a greater rate of return than they would on stocks, bonds, etc., anything like that. And you must know that if you want venture capital or angel investing, you have to be willing to exchange percentage of ownership in your business. How much? It depends on the investors, but it's very common for angel investors to maybe want 20 or 25% ownership of your business, depending on how much your concept or idea could potentially be worth. So just keep this in mind. If you don't want to give up percentage ownership in your business, you cannot look for angel investors and venture capital. That's how both of those actually end up working. So, most profitable angel investment of all time, Google. Okay, Jeff Bezos, you know him from Amazon, gave $125,000 in 1998 at 4 cents a share to Google. He also got in on Twitter the second round of funding. Okay, and Bloomberg now says his net worth is $100 billion. Look, we hear a lot about Jeff Bezos and Amazon, but here's what you may not know. First of all, Amazon wasn't profitable for 20 years. It took 20 years of Amazon doing what Amazon does before they even made a profit. For those of you like me that remember way back when, Amazon started selling books. That's all they sold was books. Jeff Bezos wanted to get into the new internet boom that was happening, and he got in and he started doing books through Amazon, okay? And he had some crazy name before he even chose Amazon. And then what he did was he took part of his money, he invested it in Google and Twitter. Those took off. He made a fortune, and that allowed him to continue to get investors and put more money into Amazon to actually make it profitable. Okay, so that being said, that has there's a good silver lining. Amazon we think of as one of the biggest retailers in the world, and the reality is that they had lost money for 20 years before they became profitable. So how can you lose money for years without making a profit? That's what angels and venture capital is for. If you're not getting that outside money to fuel you, it's impossible for a small business owner do it. But when we look at the most successful angel investing campaigns and these type of investments, when we look at Uber, when we look at Google, when we look at Twitter, these were all funded by angel investors. So what risks do they take on? Well, angels who seed startups, and this is what we call it, seed capital. Seed capital means that they're giving you that initial capital to fund the business, and there are different seed rounds. Most angels are investing in startups. That's what they're investing in. Now, the problem is that if you fail, they lose 100% of their money. Okay, so they look for basically an exit strategy. They want to make sure they have a way to get out. So here's what you need to know in angel investing is that, look, most angels lose their butt when it comes to investing. 8 to 9 out of 10 investments they make, they will fail. They will lose their money. So why do they do it? Because they're looking for what they call unicorns. Unicorns are these really rare companies that have the ability, oh, somebody just tried the new Credit Suite icon thing. That's awesome. I appreciate it. I wanted to see how that thing worked. So what happens with angels is that they're investing knowing that 8 to 9 out of 10 of their investments are probably going to fail. And they're shooting for that 1 or 2 out of 10 that become really, really, really successful. That could become $100 million, billion-dollar businesses, the Ubers, the Twitters, the Airbnb of the world. That's what they're looking for. They know they're going to lose money on 100% of their money on 8 to 9 out of their 10 investments. They're looking for that 10 or 20% that they're going to succeed. But here's the deal. As that 10 and 20% succeed, they're looking for an exit strategy. They're looking for you to do one thing. Acquired by another company or file for public offering. Okay, so initial public offering or acquisition, they're looking for you to go public or they're looking for you to actually sell your business. That's what they're looking for. Typically looking for you to get there in about 3 to 5 years. So keep in mind, if you're thinking about building some long company for your family, angel investors aren't in on that. What they want to do is they want to know you have a well-defined exit strategy of getting out in 3 to 5 years. What are you going to do to start the business, grow the business, start generating revenue, and then sell it to somebody else, get acquired, or go in and actually make it go public in 3 to 5 years so they get their money out of it. That's what they're looking for. So when you meet with angel investors, you need to know that they are clearly looking for a well-defined exit strategy in 3 to 5 years. If you don't have that, they're not going to be interested in investing in your business. Okay, so what returns do they normally see? Well, they're usually looking for 20 to 30% higher returns than they're going to get at banks. Well, banks aren't going to pay much of anything. So they're basically looking for about 20 to 30% return on their actual investment. Now keep in mind, bank loans, credit cards, credit lines, there are options here for startups without giving equity in your business. The problem is with this kind of financing, you've got to pay monthly payments on it, weekly payments, daily payments, which is hard when you're in a startup phase. When you're dealing with angel investing, they're looking to get paid when you exit, when you get acquired, when you go public. So unlike bank loans, credit cards, you don't have to pay the money back while you're building the business. The negative, of course, is that you're giving away a percentage of ownership of the business. Short term, it's really good. Because short term, you don't have to make payments on the money that's invested from angels. Long term, it's not so good because if the business takes off and really succeeds, then the problem there is that you've given a percentage of ownership, which could be at 25% or more of your business, to somebody else. So a good angel investing really pays off if your business does not make it. Okay, if you try something, it doesn't work, then the angels lose their money, and unfortunately it didn't work for you, but you didn't have a bunch of bank loan and all these other debtors that are going to come after you. But if the business does take off, bank loans, credit cards, credit lines may be better for you because although you're going to pay interest during the startup phase, you're not going to have to exchange ownership interest of your business to actually get it. Okay, so things to keep in mind. Now, how can a company get angel investors? Well, remember, affiliated means you're getting it from people that you know. Then it's a matter of just asking. Unaffiliated means you're cold calling, you're advertising, you're finding agencies and groups. And we're going to talk about a bunch of these groups that will invest as well. You're also finding intermediaries and networking too. So angel networks are one of the hottest things that's out in angel investing. And here's how it works. They pull together people that have smaller amounts of money to contribute. So now instead of getting an angel investor to give you $50,000, What they're doing is they're getting a group of 10 people that give $5,000 apiece. They're getting together 20 people that have $2,500 contributed. So they're able to come to normal everyday people, and normal everyday people are able to give $500, $1,000, $2,000. It goes into a network. The network accumulates funds from many people. They give you 50, and the 50 comes from 10, 20, 30 different people. As a matter of fact, when you start angel investing, then that's a great way to go. Get into networks, because networks, you meet a bunch of other angel investors to see what projects they're investing in, and you also get a chance to put a little bit of money in and possibly get a greater rate of return. So angel investing networks are becoming extremely popular, and this is why I said you don't necessarily want to only deal with accredited investors, because accredited investors might have $1 million in net worth, but again, you don't need all of your money to come from one source. It can come from a network where it's pulled together from many sources, making it easier for you to actually get the money and not have to look for these rare accredited investors. So something to keep in mind. So finding angels online, we'll try Gust. There's www.gust.com. And this is a great place to go to get angel investors. It used to be referred to as Angel Soft. Possibly some interference or conflict there with the toilet paper. So they changed it to Gust.com, which is a great place to go. Now they have a database of investors, companies, programs that you can actually look into. There's also places you can come in and search for business plan competitions. A lot of angel investors at business plan competitions, because with business plan competitions, they actually are finding people with really good concepts and ideas and well thought out plans, and they're investing in those businesses. So business plan competitions are another great place to go to be able to get potential investors as well, okay? There are also investment groups that invest in certain industries. So look for investment groups that possibly can be coming in and investing in particular industries as well, okay? And if all this makes sense, then click that like button. I'll even giving you guys a new icon with the Credit Suite logo. So that way this makes sense, lets me know I'm on the right track. So companies, again, there's a lot of details from places like Gust.com that you can go. So other ways to find angels. Well, entrepreneurs suggest Funding Post is one place to look, and another is called ace.net. So looking at Gust.com, looking at Funding Post, looking at ace.net, and these give you the possibility of some great places to go where a lot of angels pull together that you could possibly find. Now, again, 100 of these guys might say no, and that doesn't mean that the 101st won't say yes. So you need to know that, again, a lot of these times get denied. You may not just walk out and get angel investing. You have to be diligent if this is what you're going to do. You have to plan on pitching to a lot of angels. You have to plan on flying around to see a lot of angels if you're not in a place like Silicon Valley where a lot of them pull together. Okay, you might want to talk to different angels about other angels they know, for example, to maximize your potential. But what it really comes down to is you're going to need what's called a really good pitch deck. And if you do some research, there's a lot of ways you can learn to get together a good pitch deck that talks about what your concept is, how you're going to make money, how fast you're going to make money, what your exit strategy is, etc. It's very interesting. Even do some research. Look into companies like Uber. Uber's pitch deck is insane. It's not anything like what Uber is. A lot of people think that Uber was this ride-sharing platform. It never was. Lyft is the one that came up with the concept of ride sharing. Uber's concept initially was all black car. It was all town cars in the big cities that people could take. It was never even designed to be people's ordinary vehicles used for the transportation. That's something they adopted many years later than a concept they got from Lyft. So look at some of the biggest companies out there and their pitch decks. Do research on pitch decks. You're going to need a short pitch deck that goes through and talks about what your concept is, how it's going to work, how's the company going to make money, how soon is it going to be profitable, the kind of money it's going to make, exit plans, those type of things. There's a ton of research you can do on pitch decks that will help you through that actual process. So again, Entrepreneur notes that angels often start small, okay? So again, if you prove concept, they'll typically lend you more money. So believe it or not, a lot of angels are only putting in $5,000 to $25,000 into the actual company. Now, that might not seem like a big amount. It's not. Most people we survey are only looking for 10 or 20,000 in funding. So angels aren't going to give you hundreds of thousands or millions. That's called venture capital. And the way it typically works is you start with angel investors. You then get your concept off the ground. You make it into a business. You start generating sales. Sometimes these angels will then invest more money, or they'll introduce you to venture capitalists that'll give you a ton more money to really fuel the business. So think of it like this. Angel investors are to start your business and get it off the ground. Once it's started and making money, then comes venture capital. And venture capitalists are the ones that put in 100,000, 500,000, $1 million plus. They're hundreds and millions of dollars they're investing versus angels, they're small amounts. $5,000, 25,000. So keep that in mind. You're going to start with angels in smaller amounts. Then as you grow, they're going to introduce you to venture capitalists, and venture capitalists are going to put the hundreds of thousands and millions into the actual business. So there's a lot of angel groups out here. You might want to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to show you some of the biggest ones out there. New York Angels, Inc., obviously out of New York. Alliance of Angels out of Seattle. Pasadena Angels out of California. Hyde Park Angel Network out of Chicago. Band of Angels, Menlo Park, California. North Coast Angel Fund out of Cleveland. Golden Seed out of New York. Investor Circle out of San Francisco. Okay, you can also see here Tech Coast Angels out of LA. You can also see Ohio Tech Angels out of Columbus. Okay, so you can see a lot of them are out of either California, New York, or Ohio, surprisingly. Some are other places like Chicago and Seattle. That doesn't mean you need to go to them, but you're going to need to contact them and set up meets, and you're going to have to do a little bit of traveling. This is why there's a great guy out there. The name of his book, I think it's Chris Anderson. I'm not sure. But I read his book. I forget his last name, and I should know it. And Chris talks all about angel investing. It's a fantastic book. I read it because I'm very interested in this topic. And Chris's first advice is that if you want to get angel investment, move to Silicon Valley, because that's where a lot of these people pull. So you don't have to move somewhere, but keep in mind, to do these pitches, you may have to do some traveling. So you may want to focus on all the ones in Ohio so you can knock them out in 1 week while you're there. Find the ones in LA or Silicon Valley to knock them out while you're there. They're probably going to want you to physically come and pitch in front of them. Some of them will let you pitch virtually, but keep in mind, you may have to do some traveling to get some angels, which is maybe where you want to pay attention to where these guys are, and pool your resources so you can minimize your cost to get there and get to the most amount of money in them. So let's talk a little bit more about this. Angels versus venture capitalists. About when it comes to angels are typically lending in startups, while venture capitalists are actually lending to higher amount of established businesses. So if you're not established, venture capital is not for you. Okay, but angel investing is for you. So those are the biggest differences. The second is that angel investors put smaller amounts in, 5,000, 25,000. Venture capitalists can often be hundreds of thousands or millions. Okay, so angels are looking for about a 20 to 25% return on their investment, ROI. Okay, they tend to invest less money, and they also want less control than VC. So this is important. A lot of capitalists, they're going to want to sit on your board. They're going to want to make command decisions in your business. Angel investors aren't like that. Angel investors will give you the money. They like to have regular updates. They want to have like monthly updates, maybe even weekly updates of what's going on with the business. But they're not going to micromanage in a lot of cases what you're doing. They're not going to sit on your board and tell you decisions to make. They'll be there to help you, but they're not there to control the business. Venture capitalists, when these guys start giving you hundreds of thousands or millions, they're going to want control. They're typically going to want a seat at the table, a board seat. They're going to want to make control of your decisions because they have so much money on the line. So the benefit here is that they're not putting as much money in, they're also wanting less control as a result, okay? And again, they're also going to give money to startups if they believe that you have a high amount of growth potential. And again, they understand that that also means a higher risk potential. So let's look at an Uber of the world. Uber has a concept that is groundbreaking, that could be absolutely significantly really game-changing as it was. The problem is to take the money to invest in an Uber, to create the infrastructure and make that work and get past all the regulation and all the hurdles is really high risk. And that's what these guys are looking for. They're looking for something that is pretty high risk, because the higher the risk, typically the higher the return. So they're looking for concepts that could be groundbreaking, that could be completely game changers, like an Uber or Airbnb of the world. Okay, the other thing that's important about this kind of shift that we're seeing is that nowadays, really successful ideas and concepts are pulling other people's resources versus your own. Think about Uber uses other people's cars so they don't have to have their own fleet. Airbnb uses other people's homes so they don't need to supply the inventory. And on and on and on. This is kind of the wave of the future, where now the biggest companies, the unicorns out there that are doing billions or 100 billion, they're actually pulling other people's resources versus coming up with all their own assets. So again, what they're really looking for is they understand that they're looking for something with high growth potential, which also means high risk potential for them. Okay. Can be fast growth companies, but again, they're looking for that exit strategy. They want to recover their money in 3 to 5 years, and they're going to want a plan to do it. Number one thing you have to keep in mind is that when you pitch to an angel, all they care about is getting their money back. They care about getting their money with the rate of return. That's the way you need to talk to them. It's not about you, it's about them. It's about them investing and what you're going to do to make sure they get their money back and the rate of return. If they're confident on you, your strategy, your concept, your ability to lead the charge, and your ability to get their money back and rate of return, that's going to be when they want to invest. So if you ever watch the show Shark Tank, you hear this all the time from these sharks. Hey, look, I like your idea, but I don't ever see how I'm going to get my money back. That means those people did a horrible job of pitching their concept in a way that the investors can see a possibility that they're going to get their money back with a return. Your pitch has to be focused on, here's what we're going to do, here's how fast you're going to get your money back, here's how I'm going to focus on getting your money back with your rate of return. Keep in mind, that's the number one focus that these have, is getting that money back and recovering it in 3 to 5 years. Okay. And also, they're going to not want a larger piece. They're not going to typically want controlling stake, because they're putting less amount of people and money in. So let's kind of take a look at this. A lot of things. These guys are for startups. Angels you start with. Venture capitalists is once you get a ton of money. So it works great for actual startups. This whole concept started with Broadway theater to fund Broadway plays. It's still used for that, actually, as a matter of fact, today. A lot of these angel investors aren't millionaires, okay? They can even be what's called affiliated investors, your friends, your colleagues, people you may know, and they're unaffiliated people, though it's all they do is invest. Okay, maybe some of them are established angels, maybe some of them aren't. Also remember, if you get affiliated, people you know to contribute, it gives you a better chance of getting unaffiliated people into the actual business. Keep in mind that a lot of these people are not regulated, okay? They don't have to be regulated, but there is something called accredited angels, and these are people that have $1 million in net worth and have $200,000 a year in annual revenue. Remember, there's a lot of people contributing money to angel investing networks that don't have this kind of money or return. But again, this type of return, this kind of $1 million in annual sales and $200,000 in annual revenue, is what somebody is actually classified as an angel investor. Now, don't forget, what they're looking for is an exit strategy. They want to know you can get acquired. They want to know that you can actually go public. They're wanting to see 20 to 30% or higher return on their actual money. Okay, they are willing to get in on the startup phase. They don't want as much control of your actual business. Check into Gust.com. Check into AceNet. Check into Funding Post. Also check into all these sources of potential groups and networks that you can be part of that are really good, well-established angel companies, okay? Don't forget, difference between angels, they invest in startups, smaller amount. Venture capitalists, larger amounts of contribution for established businesses as well, okay? Also remember, angels are looking to recover that money in about 3 5 years. So that being said, I'm going to wrap up for today. Now you have everything you need to know to go in and start looking more into actual angel investing. Now this will be, we have one more stream, not next week, I'll be out. The week after, we have one more stream at 11 o'clock here on Facebook. Then we move to Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern. So like and subscribe to our page. We have our shows scheduled so you can see what topics that we're actually going to be diving into and covering. Next week, we're going to be talking about crowdfunding. Not next week, I'll be out. In 2 weeks, I'll be back and we're going to be talking about crowdfunding. Then after crowdfunding, then we move to change this format to 4 o'clock on Wednesday versus 11 o'clock on Thursday. So keep in mind, if you like and subscribe to our channel, we will keep you informed. If you message us in Messenger, then you can also come in and get notified as we're going live. Do you have questions? Are you looking for money to get funding for your business? Feel free to give us a ring, 877-600-2487. We deal with all kinds of funding for businesses that we can help you get money. And also, don't forget, if you're looking to build business credit, go to creditsuite.com/Facebook to get a great guide on building your business credit. Okay? That being said, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you missed this, go back to our Facebook page where it's available indefinitely, and you can watch it from the beginning. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.